easily preventable and treatable, it continues to be one of the country's leading causes of child mortality. To combat this silent killer, the Government of India launched the Intensified Diarrhea Control Fortnight as part of the largest Stop Diarrhea campaign, a nationwide effort to save lives through simple, accessible solutions that include WHO-approved ORS, zinc, and sanitation. While these efforts have had measurable impact, there is a pressing need for more integrated, community-based interventions that align with the government's objective to ensure long-term behavioral change and equitable access to life-saving solutions like WHO-approved ORS. This is the story of one such intervention. It's 11 a.m. on July 10th in Lucknow. The final touches are being added to the Prachar Vahan, a brightly colored van that in a short while will begin its journey through every corner of Lucknow, carrying with it a critical message that diarrhea deaths in children under 5 can be prevented. The Prachar Vahan is an initiative of Kenview and PSI India or Population Services International India and complements the National Health Mission's Stop Diarrhea campaign.
बच्चे में पानी की कुछ कमी के लक्षण हो तो तुरंत ORS उपलब्ध करवाएं, यदि संभव हो.
Over the next 20 days, this van will travel across the city's urban and suburban neighborhoods, bringing awareness around the importance of oral rehydration and other steps to combat diarrhea right to everyone's doorstep. In a country where distances are vast and medical and other resources often stretched thin, reaching every mother and every household with this awareness and information can make all the difference between life and death.
बच्चों की मुस्कान बनी रहेगी खास।
जब हम किसी चीज़ को एक बार सुनते हैं तो उसका इम्पैक्ट अलग होता है, एक बार लिख लेते हैं तो उसका असर दुगना होता है, अगर उसको वीडियो में देख लेते हैं तो उसका असर 3 गुना होता है। तो ये इम्पॉर्टेंस है अवेयरनेस की, आईईसी की। और प्रचार वाहन में एक बहुत अच्छा आईईसी मटेरियल रखा गया है, जन जागरूकता एक आम भाषा में, सिंपल भाषा में। एक टीवी लगाया गया है, उसमें प्रचार है, बताते रहेंगे चलते हुए, और जहाँ पर चांसेस इन्फेक्शंस के ज़्यादा हो सकते हैं ऐसी जगहों पर प्रचार वाहन जाता है। वो उसके बारे में जिंगल्स, अच्छे जिंगल्स बने हैं, वो जिंगल्स रन किए जाते हैं, लोगों को मौखिक तौर पर उनको बताया जाता है, टीवी के माध्यम से बताया जाता है। साथ में नुक्कड़ नाटकों को ऐड किया गया है, बहुत अच्छे नुक्कड़ नाटक प्रस्तुत किए गए हैं, जिसमें एक आम भाषा में, जैसे कि हमारे यहाँ के संप्रदायों में, यहाँ के संस्कारों में हम लोगों को जैसे कुछ चीज़ें बताई जाती हैं जो हमारे मिथ्स हैं।
दूर वाले पास आओ, पास वाले हट जाओ।
जब बच्चे को दस्त होता है तो घर वाले कहते हैं कि बच्चे को दूध ना पिलाओ, और उन्हें ये नहीं पता है कि दूध में जो पोषण होता है वो बच्चे के लिए कितना अच्छा होता है। जो शरीर में पानी की कमी होती है वो भी पूरी करता है, साथ ही साथ बच्चे को ताकत देता है।
ये सब चीज़ें जो है प्रचार वाहन से हमको बहुत लोगों को समझाने में, क्योंकि एक आदमी बोलेगा तो शायद नहीं सुनेगा, जब मूवमेंट में वो चीज़ चलती है उसका इम्पैक्ट अच्छा होता है। एक भी बच्चा वो डायरिया से उसका डेथ नहीं हो, ये हमारा एजेंडा है। सो दिस वी आर वर्किंग ऑन इट एंड विद द इंटर डिपार्टमेंटल कोऑर्डिनेशन एंड आवर फील्ड लेवल वर्कर्स, होपफुली वी विल अचीव दिस गोल सिंस वी हैव बीन वर्किंग वेरी हार्ड। पहले अगर आप देखेंगे कि डायरिया यूज्ड टू बी वेरी फैटल। पिछले कुछ सालों से हमारे पास एक इंटीग्रेटेड डिजीज़ सर्वेलेंस पोर्टल है, जिसमें कि हम ऑनलाइन रिपोर्टिंग लेते हैं हर डिस्ट्रिक्ट की, हर जगह की, जिसमें उस रिपोर्टिंग के माध्यम से हम लोग कहीं पर अगर वहाँ पर किसी चीज़ का आउटब्रेक होता है, जैसे मीज़ल्स का हो गया या डायरिया का आउटब्रेक हुआ या फीवर का आउटब्रेक हुआ, तो हमको तत्काल पता लग जाता है और हम अपने रैपिड रिस्पांस टीम्स को भेज के उस पर एक्शन लेते हैं। तो पिछले कुछ सालों से कुछ इंटीग्रेटेड अप्रोचेस से एक रिज़ल्ट ये निकला, कैंपेन से प्लस ये मॉनिटरिंग से और उसके रैपिड एक्शन से, इन तीनों की कॉम्बिनेशन से एक जो रिज़ल्ट ये निकला कि आज की डेट में हमारे पास लिटरली नेग्लिजिबल डायरियल डेथ्स हैं। सो हम लोग उसको अच्छे से मैनेज कर पा रहे हैं और ख़ासकर मॉडरेट लेवल तक ही काफ़ी डायरिया केसेस को मैनेज कर लिया जा रहा है, समुदाय लेवल पे ही, कम्युनिटी लेवल पे ही। पब्लिक अवेयरनेस से और हमारे फील्ड लेवल वर्कर्स की हेल्प से। जो कुछ क्रिटिकल केसेस आते हैं दे आर मैनेज्ड एट हॉस्पिटल्स। सो द रिजल्ट टेक्निकली एंड डाटा वाइज द रिजल्ट इज़ वेरी गुड compared to the other few years back. So this has shown a positive result.
डायरिया से डरना क्या, जब वो ORS है साथ। ORS की हर घूंट में हो सेहत की बात, साफ पानी साफ हाथ, बच्चे रहें स्वस्थ दिन रात।
At the heart of this campaign are the Ashas and NM workers, the backbone of primary health care in rural and urban underserved areas. These frontline health workers, educators, and community mobilizers are the crucial link between healthcare and the Indian population, especially in rural and marginalized communities.
तुमको बुखार तो नहीं है? हाँ? नहीं है? ये ORS घोल पीती है? ORS घोल है, मीठा मीठा, पी लो। टेस्टी है, पूरा पी जाओ, टेस्टी है तो।
Their work involves door-to-door visits, facilitating access to healthcare information and facilities. In fact, the Ashas or accredited social health activists are more than frontline workers drawn from within the community. They are mothers, daughters, and neighbors. In the fight against diarrhea, they are the first responders and often the last hope. But to empower others, they first must be empowered themselves.
PSI इंडिया और केएनयू के सहयोग से 0 से 5 वर्ष तक के बच्चों में होने वाले डायरिया समझ रहे हैं?
For the past several months, over 10,000 Asha and NM workers across Uttar Pradesh and Bihar have been trained with one objective in mind: saving lives through effective diarrhea management, complementing the government's efforts in this direction. The training includes teaching the Ashas and NMs to recognize the symptoms and quickly identify cases of diarrhea, to immediately start home-based management, and includes oral rehydration and zinc supplementation, to recognize the seriousness of the symptoms and know when to refer the case to a health facility so that the critical cases receive advanced medical care.
जोखिम से बचाएंगे।
They educate communities on hygiene and breastfeeding practices, all of which are crucial for preventing diarrhea. Asha workers are taught to listen, to understand fears and myths deeply rooted in tradition, and respond with facts, compassion, and unshakable patience. The eventual aim is to train 26,000 Ashas and NMs in the effective management of diarrhea.
We have to understand that in both urban and rural areas, Ashas are the persons who are there in the community, within the community, for the community. Think about a woman who is having a small kid, say 2 years old or 1.5 years old, and there is a diarrhea symptom. Where she has to go? Asha is the person, first contact person for that woman to understand what has happened and what is the solution. So, and similarly ANM. ANMs are working on every 5,000 population in urban areas and 10,000 population in rural areas. ANMs are the persons who can provide ORS and zinc tablets, and they can also provide more information on diarrhea and its management. So that's why we selected with the help of government that we should definitely train Asha and ANMs that how to identify diarrhea, how to help community to prevent diarrhea, and if there is diarrhea cases, how to manage that. So there are two key parts of this training. Number one, the trainees have to understand what is diarrhea, how it can be considered a diarrhea, what are the symptoms, if there is diarrhea, how it can be managed, what is the role of ORS का घोल, and what is the role of zinc tablet in case of diarrhea, right? The second part is it's not only diarrhea, because diarrhea is dependent on many of the other factors like hand washing, sanitation, rotavirus vaccine, all those things are there. So when we are training these workers, we are also focusing on all these areas, and everywhere we are working with government is supporting us, we are supporting government. So they are being trained on available resources with the government and in the private sector, and they are being connected with those resources. So ये उन सारे ट्रेनिंग के पार्ट हैं, उन सारे प्रशिक्षण का पार्ट है. तो इसलिए इन दोनों की ट्रेनिंग, इन दोनों का प्रशिक्षण सबसे ज़रूरी था, और पिछले 6 महीने में 10,000 से ज़्यादा आशा और एएनएम ट्रेंड हो चुकी हैं, प्रशिक्षित हो चुके हैं. इससे समुदाय के भीतर की समस्याएं समुदाय के भीतर ही पहचान की जाती हैं, समुदाय के भीतर ही उसका सॉल्यूशन होता है, समाधान होता है, समुदाय के भीतर ही उसका ट्रीटमेंट या इलाज हो जाता है। इससे आसान तरीका डायरिया को मैनेज करने का सामुदायिक स्तर पर शायद कोई दूसरा नहीं होगा। इसलिए आशा और एएनएम की ट्रेनिंग प्रशिक्षण बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण है।
मैं फील्ड में जाती हूँ, लोगों को समझाती हूँ कि डायरिया से कैसे बचा जाता है। डायरिया कैसी बीमारी होती है। डायरिया छोटे बच्चों को बीमारी होती है। ये इससे रोकथाम के लिए जिंक और ओआरएस दी जाती है। डायरिया से बचने के लिए बच्चों को इसकी वैक्सीनेशन भी कराई जाती है। उसका नाम रोटा है। रोटा 5 बूंद पिलाई जाती है। 1.5 महीने के बाद बच्चों को रोटा दी जाती है। अगर बच्चे को खाना खिलाने जा रहे हैं तो पहले अपना साबुन से हाथ धुलिए, शौच से आइए, हाथ धुलिए, फिर बच्चे को छूइए। बच्चे का फीड कराना हो पहले अपना हाथ धुलिए, फिर बच्चे को छूइए। उसको साफ़ सफाई का ध्यान रखिए। साफ़ पानी उसको दीजिए बच्चे को। उबला हुआ पानी अगर नहीं साफ़ आपके पास, उबला पानी करके ठंडा करके फिर बच्चे को उसको पिलाइए। बच्चे को डायरिया के चांसेस कम हो जाएंगे।
डायरिया के बारे में हमें ट्रेनिंग में मिला है मैम, और इसका घोल दिया गया है, बताया गया है ट्रेनिंग में कि हम घर घर जाते हैं मैम, सर्वे करते हैं, उनको बताते हैं। जैसे बहुत सी माएँ होती हैं जो पढ़ी लिखी नहीं होती है मैम, जैसे हमें बहुत सी मलिन बस्ती मिल जाती है मैम, वहाँ थोड़ा अनपढ़ लोग होते हैं, पढ़े लिखे नहीं होते। उन्हें आपका बच्चा अगर लेटरिन कर रहा है 4-5-6 बार कर रहा है, लेटरिन अगर 10 ज़रा हो रही है, पानी ज़्यादा हो रहा है तो उसे डायरिया की शिकायत होती है मैम। तो उसको आप अगर बच्चा से इसको 1 लीटर पानी में, पूरे पानी में घोल के बच्चे को दीजिए, पिलाइए, उसको बॉयल कीजिए। उसको जब ठंडा हो जाए उसे मिला के या बच्चे को आप दिन भर पिलाइए। तो मैम ये हम उनको सिखाते बताते हैं। उनको मालूम नहीं होता मैम कि बहुत सी औरतें क्या करती हैं मैम कि ज़रा सा पाउडर लेती हैं, 1 गिलास पानी बॉयल करती हैं ठंडा, उसी में मिला के पिला देती है। तो हमें बताना होता है 1 लीटर पानी में पूरा पाउडर डाल के मैम ठंडा करने के बाद मिला के बच्चे को हमें देना होता है। और ज़्यादा अगर बच्चा उससे सही नहीं हो रहा है, कोई दिक्कत हो रही है, तो जिंक की गोली जो छोटा बच्चा है मैम, तो उसको माँ के दूध से करके जिंक की गोली को आधा टुकड़ा करके, छोटा बच्चा है तो उसको माँ के दूध में मिला के बच्चे को पिलाया जाता है मैम। अगर उससे कोई दिक्कत परेशानी है, अगर बच्चे की आंखें गड्ढे में घुसी जा रही है, त्वचा इसका एकदम नाजुक हो रहा है, गंभीर अवस्था हो रही है मैम, तो हम उनको सलाह देते हैं कि आपका बच्चा गंभीर हो रहा है, आप लोग मेरे समझ नहीं पा रही है, इसको आप तुरंत डॉक्टर के पास, कोई प्राथमिक स्वास्थ्य केंद्र पास में हो मैम तो वहाँ लेके जाइए, इसको तुरंत इलाज करवाइए। और हमारी सरकार निःशुल्क पूरी व्यवस्था कर रही है। आपको इससे डरना घबराना कुछ नहीं कि आप परेशान हो कि पैसे लगेंगे। बहुत से ऐसे लोग होते हैं कि सोचते हैं हमारे पास पैसे नहीं, हम दिखा नहीं पाएंगे, इलाज नहीं करा पाएंगे, इसलिए हमें उनको बताना पड़ता है कि आप जाइए, आपका फ्री इलाज होगा। सरकार हमारी फ्री इलाज कर रही है इसके लिए। तो मैम उनको हम सिखाते हैं, बताते हैं सब।
डायरिया से डरना क्या जब वो ओआरएस है साथ। ओआरएस की हर घूंट में हो सेहत की बात। साफ पानी, साफ हाथ, बच्चे रहें स्वस्थ दिन रात।
Back in Lucknow, the Prachar Vahan has reached Turiyaganj. A crowd of curious onlookers have gathered around the van. Gradually, the jingles, the music, the street plays draw them into finding out more about the message that the van is carrying. The Prachar Vahan is actually a moving classroom, a mobile lifesaver.
बच्चों की मुस्कान बनी रहेगी खास।
Its 20-day travel from Lucknow's city lanes to surrounding village roads is sparking conversations, educating communities, and building a shield of awareness that WHO-approved ORS and zinc are the life-saving first line of defense.
जी हाँ, नमस्कार। आज हम लोग आए हुए हैं बच्चों में डायरिया, दस्त जैसी बीमारियों के बारे में बात करने के लिए।
This is an especially important message in the Indian context because India accounts for the most cases of child diarrhea of any country in the world, and it is also a leading cause of child death in India. Through humor, song and drama, complex health messages are made relatable and memorable, leaving an impression long after the applause fades.
यह बात घर घर पहुंचाना है। दस्त के दौरान माँ को अपना स्तनपान कराना नहीं छोड़ना है।
It isn't just the urban sprawl of Lucknow. The message that oral rehydration and zinc supplementation can save lives during diarrhea is being spread through other parts of UP too. Auto rickshaws and e-rickshaws have been deployed to take this campaign to relatively inaccessible areas. While the vans and auto rickshaws roll through the streets, one of the other aspects of the campaign that has been in practice for a while now is the setting up of ORS corners in hospitals across UP. Here families can stop, ask questions and receive free WHO approved ORS and zinc kits, ensuring no one leaves empty-handed or uninformed.
इसमें ना माइल्ड मॉडरेट सीवियर डिहाइड्रेशन होता है। माइल्ड का मतलब होता है जैसे आप पिंच ऑफ स्किन करते हैं, तो माइल्ड का मतलब आपने पिंच किया और आप थोड़ी देर में वो नीचे चला गया, तो माइल्ड में है आप उसको ORS जिंक से ट्रीट कर सकते हैं। मॉडरेट में क्या होता है, आपने उठाई स्किन और वो थोड़ा धीरे धीरे जा रही है, तो उसमें ORS के साथ आपको कुछ एंटीबायोटिक्स भी जोड़नी पड़ती हैं। हाँ कि मतलब मेट्रोजिल वगैरह और जिंक, ORS एंड मेट्रोजिल और डॉक्सी वगैरह हम लोग जोड़ देते हैं उसके बाद। लेकिन सीवियर अगर डिहाइड्रेशन है, मतलब आपने ये स्किन उठाई है, वो जा नहीं रही है या इतनी स्लो जा रही है, प्लस बच्चा सुस्त एकदम दिख रहा है, उसकी आंखें धंस गई हैं, तो यही कुछ सिम्टम्स होते हैं जिसकी वजह से हमें तुरंत उसको एडमिट ही करना पड़ता है और IV फ्लूइड पे लेना पड़ता है।
Coming up after the break, as the Prachar Vahan journeys across Lucknow, it carries a larger message. Kenview's initiative on importance of preventing and managing diarrhea. Stay tuned to the Diarrhea Se Darr Nahin campaign.
Is your business future ready? Join the 13-week strategic ESG certification program for business sustainability and growth for CXO and business leaders by NDTV, Terry and Zenora. Master global ESG frameworks, gain real-world tools and lead with impact. Starts August the 23rd. Enroll now and power your business with sustainability.
Forget 10,000 steps. What if just 7,000 a day was all it took to live longer and healthier? A major new study published in the Lancet Public Health has found that walking around 7,000 steps a day is strongly associated with better health and a lower risk of dying early. Researchers analyzed data from over 160,000 adults and found that people who walk approximately 7,000 steps a day had significantly lower risks for a wide range of chronic diseases. Compared to those who walk just 2,000 steps daily, these individuals saw a 47% reduction in all-cause mortality, 25% drop in cardiovascular disease, 14% lower risk of type 2 diabetes, 22% reduction in depression, 38% decline in dementia risk, 28% fewer falls, and a 6% reduction in cancer risk. Unlike earlier studies that mostly focused on heart health or death rates, this is the first major research effort to comprehensively examine the impact of daily steps on multiple health outcomes. The review included 57 studies, of which 31 were analyzed in detail through meta-analysis, making this the most extensive data set to date on how walking affects health. Interestingly, the study also shows that even 2,000 steps per day provides better health outcomes than being inactive. While benefits for some conditions like heart disease continue to rise beyond 7,000 steps, for most other outcomes,
Diarrhea remains one of the leading causes of death among children under 5 in India. In Bihar, there are still some pockets that report an increased number of diarrheal deaths among children under 5. The Diarrhea Se Darr Nahin campaign, which was launched in Bihar this February, aims to reach 50 lakh children over the next 2 years in Bihar and Uttar Pradesh, with a clear focus on first, raising awareness, and second, ensuring access to WHO-approved ORS and zinc tablets to save lives.
Diarrhea is still a health challenge in children under 5. I feel that the root cause is lack of awareness, because diarrhea can be treated very easily with zinc and ORS, and it also can be prevented very easily with maintaining hand hygiene and safe drinking water. So the strategy is to make the people aware about the dangers of diarrhea, and the treatment protocol is based on zinc and ORS. If people start using ORS for children who are suffering for diarrhea, many lives can be saved.
डायरिया, अतिसार या दस्त का रोग है एक संक्रामक रोग इससे बचाव का
While the Prachar Vahan's journey ends on July 29, Kenview and PSI India's journey towards diarrhea prevention and management will continue. On that day, PSI India and Kenview will be providing a platform for all stakeholders to come together to discuss the takeaways from the journey of the Prachar Vahan.
सबसे पहले बच्चे की अवस्था की जांच करें।
What worked? What was the impact of the van's awareness creation exercise? How many communities did it reach? What was the response, and how did the community health workers capitalize on the momentum created by the van's journey to bring behavioral change and a greater understanding of how to manage diarrhea effectively? The best performing Ashas and ANMs will also be recognized and celebrated for the pivotal work they have done in delivering these messages around diarrhea.
As India strives for a Viksit Bharat by 2047, the importance of healthy nation cannot be emphasized enough. Health is a foundation and crucial for holistic development of India. However, to achieve this objective and to contribute to government's development goals, it is crucial for corporate like us to partner with government along with the communities. Given the enormity of diarrhea in the country, a collaborative approach between public and private sector to drive awareness and prevention of at scale is the need of the hour. Kenview's social impact initiative, Diarrhea Se Darr Nahin, marks our commitment to support the larger government agenda around diarrhea. When we conceptualized Diarrhea Se Darr Nahin initiative, we had 3 objectives in mind. And this month, we have accelerated our efforts through 1. On-ground initiatives like Prachar Vahan, distribution of IEC material in street plays, and we are spreading this on ground where it matters the most to enhance awareness about diarrhea management. The second is to ensuring earlier detection of diarrhea cases and promote high coverage of ORS. We have established ORS zinc corners at around 1500 government hospitals and 38 private clinics so far. And third is to continue our effort to strengthen our capability building of healthcare worker, which is at the heart of our campaign.
The journey has just begun, both literally and figuratively. Every door knocked, every mile travelled, every WHO approved ORS packet handed out builds a healthier tomorrow. And that's the real goal in the fight against diarrhea. Not just to treat, but to prevent. Not just to inform, but to transform. Because diarrhea doesn't have to be fatal. With the right knowledge and the right tools, it can be defeated.
Some say sport is a matter of life and death. The truth is, it is far more serious than that. Sport is about ecstasy and agony, about pain and suffering, about joy and much more. Some say there's no one better to tell these stories. So here I am. Join me, Boria Majumdar, on India's #1 news network.
We are here with Salman Khan, who has told us a lot about bikes. Can you tell me, Salman, when did your love for bikes start?
I think since very early age. My cousins in
Do you
Indore.
remember your first bike?
Yeah, my first bike was a Jogado bike that I picked up a 125cc engine, and I put in old bullet tires, and I got a frame of some other motorcycle, and I made that bike. And that bike, I think it took me about a month and a half to fix that bike, and I got it on road, fixed it all alone. And one of my cousins used to own a garage, so I sat with him and I assembled that bike. I mean, it's all different, and it was like made it like a scrambler, dirt bike, trail bike.
So it's not like you only ride a bike.
No, so
You know things
yeah. I mean, no, I could do it then. I mean, simple even now. But so There's a friend of mine. Remember that guy, Salim, the fat guy who's been in movies with me? He was in so he was a dear friend of mine. He used to own bikes, so that engine was from him. And after a month and a half, he saw me down Carter Road riding it. So he looked at me, Ishan, this is the one that I picked up from you. Really? Wow. So I was sleeping. He comes at 6 o'clock in the morning. He takes the bike. He goes, and I come down, wanting to go to college. And I say, "Ye bike kahan hai?" They say, "Wo Salim Baba aake leke chale gaye." So then in the evening I went to his place. I said, "कहाँ है बाइक भाई? तू लेके चले गया?" ऐसे यार एक बाइक की ज़रूरत थी. वो पिक्चर का स्टंट था. उसको फिल्म सिटी के लेक में उड़ाना था.
और बाइक ठीक था?
And then they did the stunt with my bike, and the bike went in. Must be somewhere still there in the film city ka lake.
आप एक गुंडे के हेल्थ से बिहेव कर रहे हो सर। मेरी आप तो एक मेरा गायकवाड इज रनिंग अवे फ्रॉम NDTV's questions.
That issue is not before the High Command. It was not discussed so far.
Kolhapuri chappals costing $1,300.
The noise we made finally got heard, and it's so nice that somebody took action on it.
Pictures and videos of women that were taken in the Bengaluru metro, now on Church Street and other prominent places in Bengaluru. We managed to arrest both of them.
We are bringing you now, for the very first time, is that the Air India preliminary crash report is out.
This 15-page report into 10 key findings of what really is being said in this probe report.
What's reporting without impact? NDTV 24/7.
Namaste, hello, and welcome to the Indian Abroad on NDTV. I'm your host, Priyanka Deo. The topic of the day, Trump's tariff games explained. In most negotiations, people assume success comes from persuasion or compromise at the table. But those who understand game theory know the real strategy starts long before the first conversation. Game theory is the study of strategic decision-making. It helps you anticipate your counterparts' likely responses, limit their choices, and frame the game.
A woman was raped in a moving ambulance in Gaya in Bihar. 2 people have been taken into custody. Chirag Paswan, in the meanwhile, has slammed his own NDA government over lawlessness. He says that it is sad to support a regime that cannot protect its own people. Congress's Udit Raj compares Rahul Gandhi to B.R. Ambedkar. BJP slams Congress over this comparison. They say, why is the Congress not searching for the second Nehru? Piyush Goyal lauds the India-UK FTA deal. He calls the FTA a win-win and a game-changing deal. Piyush Goyal, speaking on the Prada Kolhapuri Rao, says that the brands want to collab with India now. Mission Chola triggers a political storm. BJP's Annamalai launches his latest attack. He was speaking to NDTV's Shiva Roor. He said that Prime Minister wants to make Cholas global while the DMK are keeping them local. A BRS MLA claims that Chief Minister Revanth Reddy has been tapping his phones. MLA Kaushik Reddy alleges that the Chief Minister tapped his wife's phone. The BRS MLA goes on to say that the Chief Minister, Revanth Reddy, is blackmailing an actress. It is the clash of the queens at the FIDE Women's World Chess Final. It is Koneru Hampi versus Divya Deshmukh. The big question, who will rule the board? Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Osama Shah. We begin with a disturbing and a developing story from Bihar's Gaya district. A young woman's dream to serve as a home guard has turned into a horrific ordeal, one that has now triggered shock and outrage across the country. Union Minister Chirag Paswan, he has sharply criticized the Nitish Kumar-led Bihar government over the rising crime in the state. And this comes after a 26-year-old woman, aspirant of Home Guard, was allegedly gang raped inside a moving ambulance in Bihar's Bodh Gaya. Two accused, including the ambulance driver, Vinay Kumar, and technician Ajit Kumar, they have been arrested in this connection so far. Meanwhile, Chirag Paswan, he has said that criminal incidents are happening one after another, and the administration is failing to stop them. He said that law and order situation in the state is out of control, and added that he feels sad to be supporting a government where crime continues unchecked. Meanwhile, here's what we know so far. A 26-year-old woman, she was amongst several candidates taking part in the Home Guard physical efficiency test in Gaya earlier this week. Now, during that test, the woman collapsed on the field, reportedly due to exhaustion or possible dehydration. According to officials, an ambulance was promptly arranged by the event organizers to take her to the hospital for treatment. But in a shocking allegation, the woman has now claimed that she was sexually assaulted by multiple individuals while being transported in that very ambulance. Based on her statement, the police have arrested 2 suspects so far. Their identities have not been officially released, and further investigation is currently ongoing. Medical examinations and forensic tests are currently underway, and the police says that they are treating this case with the utmost seriousness. In fact, we'll continue to track this case as it unfolds. Meanwhile, listen into all the reactions that have come in so far.
25 तारीख को बोध गया BMP 17 के परिसर में होमगार्ड बहाली में महिला अभ्यर्थियों की दौड़ थी, और उसी क्रम में एक महिला अभ्यर्थी जो है मूर्छित होकर के गिर गई, और काफ़ी प्रयास किया गया उसको वहीं पर रिकवर करने का, लेकिन बाद में उपस्थित व्यक्तियों ने उसे हॉस्पिटल ले जाने के लिए कहा, और पुलिसकर्मियों और अन्य उपस्थित व्यक्तियों के सहयोग से उसे एम्बुलेंस में भेज करके और NMC भेजा गया। बाद में लगभग 2:30 बजे महिला अभ्यर्थी ने यह आरोप लगाया कि एम्बुलेंस में जो कर्मी थे उनके द्वारा उसके साथ दुर्व्यवहार और दुष्कर्म किया गया है, और इस सूचना को प्राप्त होती हमने तुरंत अविलंब कार्रवाई की और उसका चिकित्सकीय परीक्षण प्राप्त किया।
इसमें प्रशासन की मिली भगत है, और या फिर प्रशासन इस पे लीपापोती करने का कार्य कर रहा है, और या फिर पूरी तरीके से प्रशासन निकम्मा हो चुका है और अब इनके बस का नहीं है बिहार और बिहारियों को सुरक्षित रखना। ऐसे में पुनः एक बार मैं बिहार सरकार से आग्रह करूंगा, ज़रूरी है समय रहते हम लोगों को इसके ऊपर कार्रवाई करने की।
राजनेताओं को बयान देने के पहले अपने गिरबान में भी झांकना चाहिए। जो लोग बिहार की कानून व्यवस्था पर सवाल खड़े कर रहे हैं, पहले ये तो सुनिश्चित करें कि उनके दल में आपराधिक प्रवृत्ति के लोगों को एंट्री नहीं मिलेगी। ये बेहद आवश्यक है कि नसीहत देना, आलोचना करना अगर केवल आपका कर्तव्य है और उससे आपकी जिम्मेदारी की तीसरी हो जाती है तो इतना काफ़ी नहीं है। देश में अपराध मुक्त किसी भी राज्य की कल्पना करना आज के दौर में बेहद मुश्किल है।
वो हमारे मजबूत नेता है, सूझबूझ वाले नेता है। बात बाकी ये परिस्थिति समय का देन होता है जो कभी कभी उस तरह का अभियान, यही विषय है। और बात बाकी वो पूरे नीतीश जी में निष्ठा के साथ उनको सहयोग कर रहे हैं और हर विषय में वो साथ है। मुझे लगता है उन साथ रहने का लाभ हम लोगों को केवल मिलता है ये नहीं है, पूरे बिहार के लोगों को इसका लाभ मिल रहा है।
अति सर्वत्र वर्जयते माननीय प्रधानमंत्री
नरेंद्र भाई मोदी जी और माननीय गृह मंत्री अमित शाह जी का भरोसा माननीय नीतीश कुमार जी पर है। जनता का भरोसा है। मन विचलित हो रहा हो तो वो जाने, शरीर कहीं और आत्मा कहीं, तो इस पीड़ा का तो कोई खात्मा ही नहीं कर सकता है। इसलिए बिहार में कानून के राज के सवाल पर बिहार की जनता माननीय नीतीश कुमार जी के नेतृत्व में निश्चिंत है।
Yeah, a very shocking and a very heinous crime has been reported from Gaya in Bihar, where one of the female aspirants who had come to Gaya to participate in the entrance of Bihar Home Guard examination, and there was a physical test which was going on. She was participating there, and she fell ill, and then immediately she was rushed to the hospital. So the hospital, the ambulance which actually took her to the hospital, the driver and the attendant, the technician in the ambulance, they raped her, and then they left her on the roadside. The matter was immediately brought to the notice of the Gaya police, and they immediately swung into action, and they arrested both the driver and the technician. They have confessed to their crime. The lady has been sent to the hospital for further medical treatment, and those who had committed this heinous crime, they have been taken under custody, and as we speak, they are being forwarded to the jail. So it is indeed a very shocking incident, where this ambulance was called actually when she fell ill during the physical test which was going on for the entrance of the Bihar Home Guard, and she was immediately advised to go to the hospital, and the ambulance driver and the technician who was there accompanying the driver in that particular ambulance, they committed this crime, and but thankfully within 2 hours of this coming to the notice of the police, the action has been taken, and both of them are under police custody as we speak.
Meanwhile, a political row has erupted after Congress leader Udit Raj, he compared the leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi, to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar and said that all OBCs must back Rahul Gandhi, as he could be what he called the second Ambedkar. Now, following his comment by the Congress leader, the BJP has come out in attack of the Congress party, saying that the Congress has insulted Dr. Ambedkar and must look for another Nehru instead of tarnishing Ambedkar's legacy.
राहुल गांधी जी की बात में दूरदर्शिता बहुत है। यानी अगर पिछड़ों को हम ऊपर लाते हैं या दलितों को ऊपर लाते हैं तो हमारी अर्थव्यवस्था बड़ी होगी, बाइंग पावर बढ़ेगी, क्रय शक्ति बढ़ेगी, और जो समाज के अंदर असमानता है वह कम होगा। तो राहुल गांधी जी की बात को अगर ओबीसी समझ गया तो चल पड़ा, तो राहुल गांधी उनके लिए सेकंड अम्बेडकर सिद्ध होंगे।
अंबेडकर जी का अपमान, दलितों का अपमान, यही बन चुकी है कांग्रेस पार्टी की पहचान। कांग्रेस पार्टी के उदित राज कहते हैं कि राहुल गांधी दूसरे अंबेडकर साबित होंगे। अरे भाई, पहले और ओरिजिनल और एक ही अंबेडकर जो इस देश में हैं, संविधान निर्माता, उनको अपमानित करने का काम किसने किया? और गजब की बात है कि परिवारजनों ने, पूर्वजों ने अंबेडकर जी का विरोध किया, चुनाव हराया। अब बनना है दूसरा अंबेडकर, दूसरा नेहरू नहीं बनना, दूसरा इंदिरा नहीं बननी। तो इसका मतलब साफ है कि नेहरू और इंदिरा गलत पथ पर थे। आज ये खुद परिवार स्वीकार रहा है। ये इनके तर्क है, ये इनकी परिवार भक्ति में अंबेडकर जी के और एससी समाज के अपमान करने की कोई भी जो चांस है उसको नहीं छोड़ते।
India and the United Kingdom signed a landmark free trade agreement on Thursday during Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to London, sealing the most significant trade pact for Britain since Brexit and marking a major breakthrough in India's global trade strategy as well. Union Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal, he has in fact elaborated on that deal.
हमने हमारा टेक्सटाइल का क्षेत्र हो, हमारे फुटवेयर का क्षेत्र हो, लेदर गुड्स का क्षेत्र हो, टॉयज का क्षेत्र हो, फर्नीचर का क्षेत्र हो, जो लेबर इंटेंसिव सेक्टर्स होते हैं, इन सभी पे जीरो ड्यूटी एक्सेस के साथ अब हमारी एमएसएमईज लोकल से ग्लोबल जा पाएंगी। इसको सुनिश्चित करने का काम इस एफटीए के द्वारा किया गया है। हमारे किसानों को, हमारे एनिमल हस्बेंड्री सेक्टर को प्रोटेक्ट करने का काम फिर एक बार इस एफटीए में भी किया गया। इसी प्रकार से हमने कई सारे राइस, शुगर, कई सारे जो हमारे सेंसिटिव आइटम्स हैं उनको सुरक्षित रखा है।
Meanwhile, speaking about the Prada Kolhapuri Chappal Rao, Piyush Goyal, he in fact mentioned that there are many international companies who are waiting to collaborate with India now. Listen in to what he had to say.
जैसे हमारी कोल्हापुरी चप्पल का किसी ने एक्सपोर्ट में डिजाइन इस्तेमाल किया, कॉमर्स मिनिस्ट्री ने तुरंत उस पर एक्शन लिया और आगे चल के कोल्हापुरी चप्पल जब एक्सपोर्ट होगी तो भारत को क्रेडिट मिलेगा, भारत के नाम से होगी कि ये भारत का जीआई प्रोडक्ट है। और बड़ी बड़ी अंतर्राष्ट्रीय कंपनियां आज इच्छा व्यक्त कर रही हैं भारत के प्रोडक्ट्स को अपने साथ जोड़कर, भारत के डिजाइन्स को अपने ब्रांड के साथ जोड़कर आज विश्व के बाजार में बेचना चाहती हैं। मेरा तो व्यक्तिगत मानना है कि कोल्हापुरी चप्पल अकेले 8-10 हजार करोड़ रुपए का व्यापार अंतर्राष्ट्रीय बाजार में कर सकती है।
Tracking the latest details from Maldives, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he in fact just met with the Maldivian Vice President Hussein Mohammad Latif. And this meeting comes after Prime Minister Modi and the Maldivian President Mohammad Muizzu on Friday held wide-ranging talks in Mali, marking a reset in India-Maldives relations. Both the leaders, they reviewed the full spectrum of bilateral cooperation and reaffirmed their commitment to strengthening the ties. During this meeting, the leaders focused on enhancing cooperation across key sectors, including trade, defense, infrastructure, and climate action. And further, the nations announced the initiation of negotiations for the launch of a free trade agreement. India, remember, also extended the line of credit of rupees 4,850 crore to Maldives. My colleague Vasudha Venugopal sends us this report from the public square in Maldives, where the Prime Minister is expected to arrive.
Well, we are at the 60th year Independence Day celebrations of the Maldives government, and the guest of honor today is Prime Minister Narendra Modi. In fact, the delegates are all set to arrive in just a few minutes from now. All the preparations are complete, and the location that I'm standing on is also very critical because it's between the presidential Getty zone, and also this is where all the VIP Gettys come, and this is considered a VIP area. And on my right are two very important buildings. One is of course the second largest mosque in Maldives. It's called the Islamic Center, and it used to be the largest mosque in Maldives till about 2022. Till the Salman Mosque came up, it has facilities for 5,000 people to offer namaz. And the building next to it is the one that has come up with the help of India. It is the new Ministry of Defense of Maldives, something that India has contributed to. And to my right is of course the police headquarters. So this place that I'm coming to you is a combination of modernity and traditional history of Maldives. Prime Minister Modi is going to arrive here soon, and he will be sitting there along with President of Maldives, President Mohammad Muizzu, and they are going to witness this national parade that's going to take place. You can see the sea to my left, and the soldiers here are going to march. This is an important event for Maldives. It's one of the youngest democracies of South Asia, and remember, it was only in 2008 that the first multi-party elections of Maldives were held. So this is a democracy that was hard won, which is why the country also values it. And more importantly, President Muizzu sitting alongside Prime Minister Narendra Modi at a time when the line of credit has been extended for Maldives, and also the loan repayment debt obligations have been reduced, is a huge assistance that India has offered to Maldives, in a way signaling a complete reset of India-Maldives ties at a time when there was a certain unease. Now, of course, there are no doubts that this friendship that has stood the test of time is back on track.
In what looked like a scene straight out of a movie, three masked men, they stormed into a jewelry store just before closing time and made away with a quantity of gold. The entire robbery was captured on CCTV cameras installed inside the store. This heist took place at the Ram Jewellers, located in Bhairaveshwara complex near Machuhali Gate in the Magadi Road in Bengaluru. As the shop was about to shut for the day, these robbers, they entered with guns drawn and began grabbing ornaments placed on the display table. The shop owner, Kanhaiya Lal, raised an alarm and tried to resist but was pushed aside along with his staff. Though neighboring shopkeepers, they rushed in after hearing the commotion, the robbers had already fled with the jewelry. The total gold stolen is estimated to be around 184 grams. A case has now been registered at the police station and CCTV footage is now being reviewed as part of the investigation. Well, it is the ultimate Queen's duel. It is Koneru Hampi versus Divya Deshmukh at the FIDE Women's World Chess Final. It is the most anticipated clash in Indian chess history, a generational battle where experience collides with youthful brilliance. It is a battle of veteran versus prodigy, calm versus fire, strategy versus instinct. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a title that crowns only one. Who will conquer the 64 squares? This is not just a match, it's a legacy-defining showdown. Two queens, one throne. Let the mind games begin.
In a game of strategy and silence, where queens rule the board and legends are born with every move. Today the spotlight falls on two of India's finest. Koneru Hampi, the name that once echoed through the corridors of world chess. A prodigy turned pioneer, Hampi broke barriers and records to become one of India's greatest ever. And now enter Divya Deshmukh, the fearless force of the new generation, national champion, online blitz beast. At just 18, she is already rewriting the rules. Today's showdown isn't just a match, it's a moment, a passing of the torch or a bold refusal to hand it over. Hampi brings depth, discipline and decades of top-tier play. Divya brings fire, flair and a fearlessness only youth can offer. One looks at the board like a battlefield, the other like a playground. Koneru Hampi versus Divya Deshmukh, the clash of queens, a battle of generations, and in the end, no matter who wins, the future of Indian chess stands proud. NDTV Bureau Report.
Well, joining me on the broadcast at this moment is Akash Dasgupta, senior sports journalist. Akash, before I talk about what is going to happen in the match, who is going to play in what manner, etc., what I want to know from you is who are you rooting? And you have to pick a side.
Because traditionally I haven't picked sides. No, so when it comes down to this particular encounter, Osama, of course it will be played over two matches, two classical games and a tie-break if needed. I would have to go with Hampi on this one. And I'm going to go with Hampi because firstly, because of the format, that it's a classical format that they're playing in. And also because if you look at the overall head-to-head between these two players in particular, Hampi and Divya, overall they've played 9 games, 9 matches. Hampi's won 5, Divya's won 2 and 2 have been draws. But in the classical format, Divya's yet to beat Hampi. They've played each other only twice. And Hampi has won one while she was playing with white and the other one was a draw. So just going by those statistics alone, Osama, I think I'm going to be rooting for Hampi. And I think Hampi might win this one.
So you're basically saying that it is experience over youthful, exuberance, youthful energy that is going to prevail.
Yes. Yes, because of the format, because it's a classical format. See, it reminds me a lot, Osama, of the T20 versus Test clash, or impact the T20 has had. That's
actually a great analogy, Akash. I would say that. Also, what I want to understand is, how might this pressure of being the first Indian player First Indian woman to be in this particular position, who's win the World Cup. Do you know the kind of pressure that both these players would be under? It would be immense. And having said that, who do you think is prepared to handle that pressure better?
So again, going by the fact that Humpy is more experienced, firstly, look at the age difference, the age gap between the two. Divya is exactly half of Humpy's age. It's 38 to 19. Also, when it comes to being the first in things in chess, Humpy has experience on her side there as well. Remember, she was the first ever Indian female chess player to get the title of Grandmaster. And she, in fact, became Grandmaster at the age of just 15, if I can remember correctly. And at that time, that was a record. And post that, that's been broken by only one person, while just one other player. So she's still the second youngest player, female player ever to become Grandmaster. So when it comes to, being the first or, standing on the threshold of history like that, I think Humpy has experience on her side once again. And if you just look at the game that she plays very the classical version very, very well, because she, again, going back to the T20 test reference, she came up at a time when the shorter formats weren't really very popular and they weren't really around. The rapid chess or blitz chess, they weren't really played a lot. And Humpy came up at that time. Divya's come up at a very different time because obviously the generational gap. So Humpy plays that, classical chess, I think, a little bit better. Divya is a more aggressive player. There's a certain, school of thought that believes that Humpy comes with, opening moves decided. And yet there is another school of thought that Humpy actually goes with the flow and she actually does not come with an opening move decided. So that in itself shows you that it's, even though she's been playing this classical game for such a long time, it's very, very difficult to read a player of the stature of Koneru, Humpy, who's hands down the greatest ever female chess player that this country has ever produced. Remember, she took a longish break, a break of about 2 years to, take care of her family. She had a daughter, and then she came back, and then she went on to become world champion in a shorter format, in a faster format, in the rapid format. And that is a format which is dominated by younger players. So she's doing it at the age of 38, showing